Let's go with the Mystic, but this one is gonna be a harder. I'm not gonna lie. This one's gonna be harder. Let me see if I can recall how to do stuff. Because I remember it being... This one I remember being harder. Definitely. In this case, you contact Ariadne directly. No, she contacts you directly, I suppose, and you don't have to trick her. But you go beyond... And also you go beyond the temple. Good morning. Miss Pryor, is it not? Kruba. We have been expecting you. I'm Emil Kruba, the manager. I have a letter here which has left to await your arrival. Miss Pryor. Dear Miss Pryor, I have received a letter from our mutual acquaintance, Mr. Roland Marcus of Museum Street in London, in which he speaks highly of you as a serious scholar of the occult arts, and says he has suggested you call on me during your visit to Alexandria. I would be happy to see you as soon as you would like once you arrived in Alexandria, and suggests that in the first instance we meet at my office in Rue Sherif Passage. If you aren't familiar with the city, the hotel staff will be able to direct you. Yours faithfully, Ariadne Elitis. See? This one starts very different. I have to find a company office email in Rue Sherif Passage. Where is it? Only 2 or 3 minutes walk from here, Miss Pryor. It's easy to find, but I'll show you. Or you can mark it, and you can mark it on your map. Anything from me, Emil? There is nothing else for you at the moment. So, office. Let's say again. Welcome to Alexandria, Miss Pryor. Roland said in his letter that he thought we would have much in common, so I'm delighted to meet you. What brings you to Egypt? Same thing that brought you here, maybe the same thing that brought you here, where great magic has been done in the past. Much may still be learned today. They see this long tradition of magic. Egypt. It may be truly be said of it. That is not that which can eternal lie, and which strange eons even death may die. That's from the Cthulhu mythos. So, you are acquainted with the book of the Mad Arab. Marcus was right. You are no dabbler in these matters. It may be fortunate that you have come when you did. I have discovered that one of my employees has been selling papyri. They are probably from the tomb which is being looted. But if I tell him not to do it, he will just carry on behind my back. Because of that, when I found out, I told him I would buy them, since it is probable that the museum here would buy them from me. That way they would be saved. He won't tell me much about what he has found, except it is of the finest quality. But there is always a chance that one day something from the Alexandrian library will turn up. The greatest library of the ancient world. The first Greek grammar was written there, Greek accents first used, and the first librarian added the works of Homer. I've told him to bring me the best he can find, and we shall have to see what that is. When he does, would you be interested in seeing it? Yes, I'd be fascinated to see what you get. Forgive me asking, but if you go to explore the city, You will find it difficult without Arabic. You speak it? Not a word. In that case, could I offer my services as a guide? I know the city, and more than I know the people who matter. Would you like me to come with you? Thank you. That would be extremely helpful of you. No trouble, I assure you. But I will need to make arrangements. Let us meet at your hotel tomorrow evening, at 6 o'clock. In the meantime, you might as well play at being a tourist. Okay? Just gonna walk around being a tourist, like she said. I wonder what that is. Probably something from the ancient Egyptian temple or tomb. Above is not part of the public galleries. A solar disk. Do not tell anyone, but I'm not really a tourist guide. My brother got me this job. Mhm. City. Okay. This way, please, madam. We have a seat here for you. Now I'm here. Suppose I better order a cup of coffee. Coffee, please, waiter. Nice coffee. Unusual flavor to it. Nice to have something with the coffee. Very pleasant. Anything for me, Emil? Not at the moment, Briar. Thank you. Yeah, I was just playing tourist. In the CD-ROM version, the scroll, there is a market, a full market to explore. You actually don't get the scroll. Mask of the Prophet Daniel. Is that a bust of Nefertiti or Cleopatra? Okay, let's put the far too early. I'll come back just before 6. Look worried. What's wrong? This. I told you that one of my employees, my custom agent, has been selling papyri. Do you remember? Yes, I remember. I told him to bring me the best he could find, thinking that if it was good enough, I could buy it from him and sell it to the museum. I'd rather see it go there than to some rich collector. It would not be the first time they have acquired exhibits in that way. This morning he brought me a large scroll in an elaborate case. It is unique, and probably priceless, but that wasn't what worried me. There were things about both case and scroll that stirred me deeply. Things that you and I would recognize because of what we know. I had to risk looking at the scroll. From what I found, there disturbs me even more. It is written in Greek, and being Greek myself, I could make sense of it. But I'm no scholar of ancient Greek, and I'm going to need the help of an expert. So I'm taking it to Professor Layton Stone at the museum. Look, see for yourself what I mean. She may be right. I can't make out that much, but there is something disturbing about it. Just one moment. Alright, cat. Think we've seen enough. Take them both down to the station for questioning. Cameron, but you don't understand. I was on my way to the museum with it. Like the story? Although I have to take it there to see what I've got. No, you don't understand. This thing is dangerous. They won't know what they're dealing with. At least let me come with you. That's quite out of the question. Then take Miss Pryor with you. Come on, you're wasting time. Well, Miss Pryor, I've interviewed Mrs. Elitis under caution, and she's sticking to her story. I'm not going to caution you, because the details on her passport correspond with what she says. You had, you had only just arrived in Alexandria, so I think we can eliminate you from our inquiries. I'm not letting her go, though. For some time now, we've been trying to find the source of manuscripts appearing on the black market, and we had information pointing to her. But why was she insistent that either you or she went to the museum with the scroll? Oh, I'm Cameron, by the way. Bimbashi Cameron. Pleased to meet you. Even if it is in an official capacity, why did she want to go with the case? Well, she thought that we had specialist knowledge, which might assist the museum staff in dealing with it. In that case, it might not be such a bad idea. I'm on my way over there right now. Would you like to come? Well, very well then. Let's go. Now we have the part. I think this part always happens in old playthroughs. Hope I don't mind, Professor, but I brought along Miss Pryor. Miss Pryor, this is Professor Layton Stone. Pleased to meet you, Miss Pryor. She may have specialist knowledge which could help us. Well then, Professor, what do you make of it? The case is an extraordinary mixture of elements. That does occur, of course. The catacombs are the prime example. There's nothing like this that I know of. The workmanship is superb. The problem, the trouble with the gold leaf is that it doesn't tarnish. It could have been made yesterday, and probably was. If it's a fake, then likely the scroll leads to. I'm not gonna click here. I'm just gonna pass all the. I'm not gonna click any words. The scroll, you say? Yes, there really was a scroll inside there. I've done some preliminary finding and enrolled the first few feet. Then, well, shall we take a look at it? Very well then. You shouldn't take long to decide whether it's genuine. Before I start examining the scroll, take a look at the case. I'll just turn it around for you so that you can see it properly. Wings should have feathers, not scales. Von Jun's rise of things with scaled wings, things which guard the forbidden plateau of Lang. I see what you mean. You expect to hold a sacred animal. Where not the case is genuine, or belongs to the scroll, I suggest we take a look at that now. It's in Greek, not one of the other scripts. Are you familiar with any of these, Miss Pryor? I think she says no. A title. It is most unusual. The ends of scrolls were subject to the most wear, and are often missing. It is Biblion Kaiorkeion. Biblion, of course, is book. The word could refer to the staff, could refer to staff carried by heralds, or the winged staff of Hermes, which was run by snakes. The loose translation might be Book of the Serpent Staff. I'll see what sense I can make of this, but you'll need to be patient. It is dedicated to Ptolemy Physcon. The writer promises reveal great secrets and powerful magic. Most of it, for however, concerns the story of Meme. I'm just gonna say Meme. Meme is Scroll describes Meme as the only son of ancient pharaoh. There have been someone of that name. The records of some dynasties are far from complete. It certainly appears one of the Demotic tales. One particle concerns the folklore called Setne Kawas. Existed, but time was a bit like Robin Hood, lived more than 3,000 years ago. He was son of great Ramses II and high priest of Ptah in Memphis. According to the scroll, Menephtah received a vision from the god Thoth, one of great ancient gods, moon god, inventor of writing, and god of calendar. His name in Egyptian is Tehuti, literally the measurer. The vision led Mehmet to a city of serpents in the land of the dead, in the midst of the sea of Coptos. There inside a series of boxes of iron, then bronze, then wood, then ebony, then ivory, then silver, and finally of gold, guarded by a headless serpent, which might mean immortal. He found a book which Thoth wrote with his own hand. Its full title is The Book Which Governed the Return of the Stars. That much is clear, but the rest is written in very ornate and obscure language. That's usually the case with magical and alchemical texts. The key secrets were passed on by word of mouth. Well, we can expect that to happen. Can we, Miss Pryor? Can you make any sense of the rest? I think so. A lot can be guessed from the context. It seems that he studied the wisdom of the people of the city, and forgive me, with a lady present, I must apologize for the indelicacy of the subject matter. He brought his wife to the city, so that they might father children on her. At some point, he killed a serpent which guarded the book, stole the book, and used one of the spells in it to imprison the inhabitants. That's he talks of his daughters guarding some secret knowledge, until the stars are right, and the sons live in the company of men, when the blood of their fathers showed in them. Why was the city called the City of Serpents? Because its people were serpents, the idea of hybrid monsters, half human, half animal. It's common in Egyptian religion and myth, and maybe not just there. You came in and says, Nancy Miss Pryor, shall I tell Professor what happened when he docked? Ah, you're probably right. We're about to find out about it. Yes, back to what you were saying, Professor. Are there actually any magic spells in the scroll? It mentions three. The first of summoning. User must call upon the monster name of Dot. Second spell of binding. The Egyptians believed that words had magic powers, and showing a thing could make it happen. The enemy caster shall become bound, as the words of the spell are bound to the scroll. Third spell is one of true sight or divination. Uses the needle of gold and spittle of serpents, but it doesn't say how. Golden needle. Well, I'll be. That's uncanny. Back in 1918, when officers stationed in Cairo, Captain King, found some guns by his bacon garden, blah blah. He has a scratch on his eye. I'm not going to read everything. Um, Scratch. He scratched my eye with a golden needle and gave me second sight. Get back. Yeah, but good night. Good night, Miss Pryor. Extraordinary mixture, the old thing. This part seems to be a prophecy of the end of the world, when the stars are right. Why did he have to use that particular phrase? It is too close to the ritual of certain hideous cults. The prophecy occurred a lot towards the end of Ptolemaic era. I mean that this is a later copy with additions and original decade of Ptolemy VII. And stars are right. She who is foremost among daughters of Meme, she who is Isis. She was a god of mirror and nature, also skilled in charms and magic, shall call upon Thoth by his name that she alone knoweth. Mention of those that wed shall come into her. They may be united. That would refer to the spell of summoning, and the name is most certainly to have passed on orally, as the central secret of mystery cults. There were secret societies, which taught religious magical knowledge, often through ritual dramas. Because of the oath of secrecy taken by initiates, very little of their teachings has survived. The union will mark the dawning of a new age, when the old gods will return. The servants shall have power over all things. The world will be destroyed. The new one take its place. Oh, blast that lamp. The bulb must be going. Anyway, as far as I can go for now. I don't want to risk handling the scroll anymore. In the morning, I can begin work on it properly. It'll take months, maybe years, to fully appreciate what we've got here. Even if we know where it came from, But one thing I am confident of, this isn't a fake. Modern or ancient, the style and script are both too consistent for that. Why did the scribe that wrote that know of the old gods? He must have meant the older gods of Egypt, not the great old ones of whom Alzarad wrote in his accursed book. What on earth? Nyarlathotep. Oh, its time approaches, and yet has not yet served its purpose. I think it's in the CD-ROM version that it transforms. I am future messenger. Those that speak knowledge. Yet of knowledge, Brian, and shall be. You shall know what lies beyond. Come. No, it's only in CD-ROM version. You were saying there we came in for that. Yes, I'm alright, thank you. Where am I? Let me check out for a minute. Did I get here? No sign of her. Mein Gott! Miss Pryor! I thought you were. What happened? You look terrible. Please. Sit in the bar. You'll be so kind for a few minutes while I make arrangements. Well, I'll be. I was right. Easy. What happened? Where have you been? I was in the catacombs, I think. From El Shagafa. Then I came here. Yes, where you were before then. To the museum. With you and the professor. There was that. Last night, wasn't it? Now, Miss Pryor, that was 3 months ago. Been missing since then. Suffering from amnesia. I better bring you up to date. You remember I was called away from the museum, I hope. Well, after we arrested the elitist woman, we began searching the property to see if we could find any other manuscripts. In a warehouse, they found the body of a customs agent, Yusuf al-Rashid, in the cellar. For me at the museum, and I've been to the warehouse. I went back to the station and began questioning her. She was worried about something. Before I could get anything out of her, there was a phone call from the museum. The watchman there had discovered the body of the professor. There had obviously been a struggle. The scroll and case were missing. So were you. Looked like a robbery had gone wrong. I didn't have to look very far for a suspect. When I got back to the station, she had disappeared as well. But a man better use a lavish bribe to catch the man responsible. Well, enough of that. At that point, quite frankly, we didn't have much to go on. First, we thought you had been kidnapped and expected a ransom demand. When that didn't happen here, we were forced to assume the worst. Now, 3 months later, you are alive and apparently unharmed. Except for your memory, that is. Even after you tell me I can remember what happened to me, you will believe it. I can only assume that you were being held somewhere, that you decided to turn you loose and gave you a bang on the head, dumping you in the catacombs. You had a very lucky escape, but I think that for your safety it's best if you leave Alexandria. I'll beat the bush and see if I can find out where you were kept. Do you have any leads? You can only assume that the elitist woman was at the bottom of it somehow. We've searched all the obvious places. Her office, the warehouse, even the cafe that she owns. The Gardens of Paradise. Leave me to worry about that though. If I were you, I'd get the next available ship back home. And start to pick up the pieces from there. Sorry about what happened. It's no excuse. But I've never had anything like that go so badly wrong before. Anyway, goodbye, good luck. Okay, she already. Okay, did. I was asking myself, how did she find out that the cafe belongs to? Cameron must be thinking he's lucky stars that have turned up alive. The last thing he wants is for me to get involved again. But he doesn't know what he's dealing with. He still thinks that it's just a question of stolen papyri. I told him that ancient evil had reawakened. You think I was mad? Let's find out what's going on. Let's find Ariadne. But if police can't, how am I going to do it? She's hiding in the opposite warehouse with big quills. The cafe may still be open. Somebody there might talk to me because I'm not in police. Things went up on Cook's plans. Okay. Spire, over here a moment, please. Understand from Bimbashi Cameron that we'll be staying here for a few days, until ship leaves. I've taken the liberty of putting you in your old room. I hope that means with your approval. Thank you. Let's go to the cafe. This is the Gardens of Paradise Cafe. That is correct. I am Miss Estelle Pryor. I need to see Mrs. Ariadne Littis really urgently, and her office was closed. You know where she is? No, she is away. She is out of town. I do not know when she will be back. Well, if you're in contact with her, you can tell her that I'll be staying at the Savoy Hotel for a while. Oh, Miss Pryor, the rep gentleman says that was Miss Pryor, I've heard that you are alive and back in Alexandria. I must meet you tonight. Come to the Guardians of Paradise at 9 o'clock. Abdul will take you to me. Tell no one you are coming. Pryor, moment. There was. It'd be good to have a nap, well, until 9 o'clock. Come with me, madam. Come with me, madam. So it is you. When I heard you were alive, I had to see you. Abdul, bring us some more coffee, please. Maybe, since you are alive, there could be hope. For 3 months now, I have been trapped here, not able to risk leaving. Not even sure that I was safe here. Of course, she'd been hiding from the police. The police? In some ways, they are the least of my worries. Of course, it's important that they don't come blundering in, or they could ruin everything. What is this place anyway? It's the only place I could be safe. It is where I do my real work. You need to ask? Your aura tells me that we are fellow mystics. Here I could erect boards and guards to keep me safe. Protection against the things that can come through the angles between the dimensions. Everyone who had contact with that cursed scroll seemed fated to die. And I could only assume that I was next. But now, here you are, alive. Tell me what happened last night. Cameron seemed to accept that I had nothing to do with the stolen manuscript racket. So he didn't arrest me. He asked why you had wanted one of us to go to the scroll and case of the museum. And I told him that we had specialist knowledge. Sorry. Which could be of help. He took me with him. And at the museum, the professor began to translate the scroll. After a while, Cameron had a phone call and left. That must have when he heard about Al-Rashid's death. After Cameron left, the professor continued to translate the scroll for a couple of hours, and suddenly, I'm not gonna read all this. While this goes, I'm gonna drink some more water. I'm not gonna read or narrate any of this. It's a bit expand on the CD-ROM version. The CD-ROM version unfortunately streamlines the game also a lot. So I don't recommend the CD-ROM version. But I will play CD-ROM version after this one, so you can see the differences. Next thing I remember, or rather want to remember, I was standing in the catacombs at Comel Shagaufa, and then I discovered that 3 months had passed. I blame myself for much of what has happened. Even the case alone should have told me how dangerous it was. And having read as much as I did of the scroll, I should have never let it outside this room. I needed expert help to translate it completely, though. I had to take a chance on the museum. Someone must have tipped off Cameron, maybe Al Rashid himself. But perhaps it's just as well. If he had kept it, the professor's fate would have been mine. What really worries me, though, is that he died and I might have. But what could happen? The true significance scroll and of that night's events. As I said just now, when the papers reported it, they made great play of the fact the professor was found in front of a spirit door. But of them asked whose name was written on that door. Who was it built to serve? They had 3 months to ask and find the answer. The guide archaeologist said the description on the door is unique. It is not. But only once before have I seen it. In Prim's hellish works. She must meant the vermin's mysteries. Is it true? The author of the mystery of the worm boasts of his fantastic age and of the time he spent captive in Syria after the Ninth Crusade. Those who have read it speak of the Samic ritual chapter, but what it says about his travels in Egypt. There are even rumors he spent some time here in Alexandria. He talks of a god, worship of the Huti Ha-Merit, Tot, the Great of Terror, but also gives a real name and title of that god, Tep, servant of the outer gods, the hunter of the dark. It must have been him who came through that spirit door, came from the scathe and scroll. Why? What could be so important about it? Shall I remind her what he said? He said the master of the book is not for you. Its time approaches, and he has not yet served his purpose. But who is its message for? It said in the scroll that foremost scroll said that she is foremost among the daughters of Meme. Shall Paul call upon Tot by his name that she alone know it? When I found Al Rashid was selling papyri, he told me they had got him from a tomb in the Libyan desert. He said that there were treasures there as well, and that he would bring me one. But what if he was lying? What if the case didn't come from the centuries-old tomb? What if the worshippers of that dreadful god still exist, and he robbed them? Shall I tell her about the incident when I arrived in Alexandria? A strange thing happened when I was coming off my ship. When I first arrived here, one of the other passengers, Turkish by the look of him, was stabbed to death. That was bad enough, but there was something almost worse about the man who stabbed him. He was shot by the police, and as he fell, he seemed to change. When I looked at the body, it was human, but his skin was rough and scaly, almost reptilian, and he had hideous pointed teeth. The scroll spoke of the sons of Meme, leaving the company of man when the blood of their fathers showed in them. But why was it so important to get the scroll back? Was it something to do with that phrase in the scroll, when the stars are right? I don't know. I'd have to see if over the last 3 months there have been significant events in the heavens. The calculation I have to do will take some time. But while I'm making them, there is something you could do. I can't understand why you find yourself in catacombs. Perhaps if you went back there, you might see something significant. They will be closed now, so I suggest you return to your hotel, get some sleep, and visit them tomorrow morning. Come back here after that, but remember, tell no one that you have seen me. If the police find me here, they will ruin everything. What you have to do is too important for that. Miss Pryor, I must tell you what I have discovered. To begin with, I made a chart of the heavens to see if there was anything significant in the position of the planets. I couldn't see anything. Then I remembered what the scroll said. It talks about when the stars are right. The inner planets move too fast. If they were the key, the time would have come and gone by now. And then I thought it include Hugot. Of course, Hugot, the dark prowler which rolls on the rim of the abyss, the age of our solar system. Hal Alharzar had spoken of it, and hinted at what it might bear with it. Only one astrologer, the 13th century Kairim al-Kafir, his formulae for calculating the position of Hugot, but he was reluctant to discuss its significance, and I thought, if the stars are right now, I might get some clue by seeing when this happened last. So I tried regressing. Working out their positions backwards, Al-Ghafir calculated that Hugot takes about 245 years to make a complete precession to the house of the zodiac, so the last time the other planets were in the same position relative to Hugot was almost 2,000 years ago, and I calculated the exact date. 8 cycles of Hugot would take 1,960 years, and I remember what had happening in the ancient world then, happening here in Egypt, in Alexandria. What was that? Struggle between two of the greatest cultures of ancient Europe, the Roman and the Hellenic. More than just the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty, it was one of the turning points of history. At its center was a woman, mistress of Julius Caesar, and of his heir Mark Antony, the Serpent of the Nile, Cleopatra. Nowadays the story has become a romance, story of doomed passion, but that trivializes it. The stake was more, much more, than who would control Egypt and its fabulous wealth, who would rule the Roman Empire after Julius Caesar. Romans made their emperor gods when they died. Cleopatra and Antony were hailed in their lifetimes as Aphrodite and Dionysus, Greek goddess of beauty and beautifulness, and the Greek god of divine madness. The Egyptians hailed them as Isis and Osiris, gods of creation and god of death. If they had not been defeated, the ancient world would have been ruled by living gods. Historians knew this, but they did not know of that book, a book written for the Ptolemies. written in Greek so that they could understand it, and it could do its work. They knew that there is little reliable information on Cleopatra's mother, but they have not asked why. They know that her attempt to rule the world failed. They have not asked what would have happened if she succeeded. I cannot stop myself asking, and I fear I know the answer. The stars are right again, for the first time in 2 millennia. I fear it's about to happen. Those who have guarded the scroll and knowledge in it will call upon the God that they worship, and may open the way for others, for the outer gods themselves, to return where they once ruled. It cannot happen, it must not happen, with no solution for certain. If you find anything in the catacombs, nothing unusual. It couldn't have been where Al-Rashid found the scroll. In any case, because it's been excavated. If only we knew where he found the scroll, we might have a lead. The greedy fool wouldn't share discovery with anyone else. Now he's dead. A vision? That wasn't a memory. It was somewhere I've never been. Shall I tell her about it? I have some power as a clairvoyant, but it is erratic. I've just seen a cellar with a chair in it, but I can't see what is important about that. The police found Al-Rashid's body when they searched my warehouse, and that has a cellar in it. Let's go there. Now that I know you're not dead, I can leave this room again. The cellar entrance is through the office. Probably the postal balance. No reaction, because that lot doesn't add up. Usually the papers are fine, but together they look like someone's trying to conceal something. That file must set out the arrangement for bringing drugs into Alexandria. Alright, let's save. Thought they were going to do the same thing as they did in the Egyptian playthrough, but not. It's going to be very different. So, this is where they found the body. Wonder what that white powder is. Looks like someone burned some kind of resinous herbs or incense. There must be a hidden entrance here somewhere, for its heels have got in by. Bits of cut rope, some sort of dark stain on them. That looks like the rest of what they tied him up with. There are some rope fibers in the cracks of the slab. It's probably from the large coil of rope. But I can't understand why it's down there. Why that is down here. From the looks of it, Al-Rashid cleaned everything else out of the cellar. Left the rope. I wonder why. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm gonna... Wanna see a game over? Be careful. There might be a big drop below. We need to find some way of getting down safely. What is this place? Some sort of temple? the guard are back here. There is more of it ahead. Yeah, in the CD-ROM version, you can interact wherever it is here. This could be where Al-Rashid found sarcophagus. Those jars might have held scrolls. But this can't be a dead hand. These killers must have come from somewhere. Look like some sort of low tunnel here, mistress. Passage may continue beyond. Why almost block off the corridor off at this point? Shall I try to go through it? We must be on the right track. But we must also be careful. Whoever killed Al-Rashid might come back this way. You're right. I have a bad feeling. I cannot see what form it takes. But there is danger here. Abdul. Abdul? Tell me I have collapsed. We must see what has happened to it. What is that strange glow ahead? Al-Hafiz. Hafiz. What did that to him? Back quickly. Whoever killed Al-Rashid must have set a trap. In case anyone followed him. Whatever it was, we didn't set off anything. And I couldn't see anything in the room. So maybe it may be safe to go back and take another look. Ugh, the poor devil. I'm going to save here because Adid Yamashun. Back quickly. What was the matter? Didn't you see it? The dust was moving. But there is no breeze down here. Abdul was killed by Ifrit. Powerful and malicious genie. The fourth sign revealed it to me dimly. So she knows the sign of the four. The four, which when made can show something of things from outside. Some barrier must be imprisoning it, or you would have been attacked by now. We must find a way past it. First, I must see what is holding it. And for that, for each sign is not enough. We will need a pounder of Ibn Ghazi. Powerful creation of an ancient Arabian wizard. It has peerless ability to show things of power, things that the human eye cannot see. Al-Rashid could not have escaped Abdul's fate without the pounder. Neither could his killers. They must have had some. I'm gonna save here because this is where we can get soft lock very easily. If there is some, it will be around here somewhere. Not right back near the cellar. Let's see if we can find it. What is this jar you gave me? It is! It is the pounder of Ibn Ghazi. Before you can use it, you need a blower of some kind. Like this one that you gave me. Here, take the pounder. Let's fill the blower. Come on, let's go back to the other room. Now blow the pounder. Look, bearing circles it, but does not touch the wall. You should be able to squeeze past if you are careful. You did it, but I must admit I was worried while I was going past it. There must be something else ahead of us. Take care. Remember what happened to Abdul. If we see light ahead, I'll leave the lamp behind us. We can always pick it up on the way back. There doesn't seem to be anyone here, so we should be able to risk taking a quick look around. Okay, I'm not going to pick up... Looks like they put more of the incense in a cellar that they use on Al-Rashid. How old are those dark stains? How many centuries of unholy rites have been celebrated on that altar? Spirit door, very different looking from the one in the museum, but it might be just as dangerous. Solar disk. I can't imagine it don't read Turkish. What's it in the notebook? I don't know. Look, it looks like it's written in Turkish. That's no problem. How do you think I deal with companies in Constantinople if I don't know Turkish? It's Imran's notebook. Kumaran Imran. He was a Turkish scholar master and a keen alchemist. A lecherous old pig as well. But I shouldn't speak ill of the dead. He could have made that lens himself. He was a good enough craftsman. His things might have been down here for at least 3 months. About the same time we arrived in Alexandria. He was killed coming off a boat from Turkey. Al-Rashid told me that he had stole some of the first papyri he had found to Imran. If Al-Rashid was getting the papyri from the temple, he must have taken him down there. But what was he up to? We must read the notebook to see if that tells us. Of course, that must be what happened. Urim had a theory that the Library of Alexandria was home to a lost masterwork of alchemy, that fragments of it appeared in sturdy form in the teaching of mystery cults and the writings of later alchemists. He was always looking for traces of it. What Al-Rashid sold them must have contained fragments, if not more, of the Book of the Serpent Staff, which may have been brought here when the library was destroyed. One of the papyri told them to make the Eye of Thoth. That must be the lens. It should show when the stars were right. He couldn't know what that meant, but would have made the lens anyway. When he wrote this, he hadn't done that, because he was still trying to work out the final part of the ritual. To complete the process, the eye had to be offered to the lightless sun. But what was that why it was here in the temple? Was he going to test it? This is where the game... What did the notebook say? You must be off to the sun without light. Let me save, because this part I have no blood. I don't remember what I did. The great serpent is born. Stars are right. It could happen any time now. How can we stop it? The whole thing started with the scroll. If we get our hands on it again, we could destroy the sacred text. I agree. We'll never know how if they could have done without the scroll. But for the Dark One himself to come for it, must be found in some way. That empty niche up there. That must be where Al-Rashid found sarcophagus. It's not there now. Is it somewhere else in here? There must be more to the temple that we've seen. And besides, the air is fresh, so it can't have been sealed for 2,000 years. What's that though? Looks like a lot of people approaching. Quickly, back into the tunnel. It's quiet in there now. I think we can risk taking a quick look. We can't forget trying to seize the scroll. We turn limb from limb if we tried now. Brute force won't work. We need to fight fire with fire. We need magic. Ifrit which kill Abdul is magical. A creature born of fire. It would be fitting revenge for its death if we turn it against him. But an Ifrit would kill us first if we released it. It might find it amusing to let ceremony proceed. But if I was wrong, Genie, they are wild and powerful, but not evil by nature as the Ifriti are. Once it was trapped, it would not care who it killed. It might have thought we had come to taunt it. They are wary of humans, but creatures of their word. If we can make a bargain with it, it may help us. Of course, if I am wrong, it is an Ifriti, we will die. Okay, let's save again to see. We have no real choice. If we are wrong, we die. But if we do not try, the world dies. What's the expression? Nothing venture, nothing gain? Let us try our luck. Son of fire, we offer you a bargain. We will fill yourself to us. What bargain can the likes of you offer? One that you would do well to listen to. Threaten all you like. You cannot harm us while you are trapped in there, but we need your help. And you cannot help us either while you are caged. Why should I help those who did this to me? We did not do this to you, but we offer you the chance of revenge on those who did, and the chance to avert a great evil. We want you to go to the temple that is beyond this room, and destroy the scroll in the golden case. When it is brought there, what you do then is up to you. If we release you, we have your hope that you will do it and not do us any harm. I care nothing for your good and evil, but I will have revenge. I know the scroll which you talk, where it's kept. Another thing I know, for it is not the genie eavesdrop on heaven itself. You must kill the daughter of Serpents as well, for she knows the most secret name, and that is no book. By myself I cannot do what you ask, for they have already overcame me and caged me. But take that whistle that you have to the temple, blow on it when the time is right, then I will come and bring my brethren. They shall know our wrath. Now release me. What must I say to release him? I release you will be enough. I release you. Quickly now. Let's go to the temple before it's too late. Save one last time. It's empty. Where are they? Look, the spirit door is open. Wherever it leads, they must have gone through it. Where are we? There must be a new city here once, thousands of years ago. But I know nothing like this anywhere near Alexandria. Enchanting. It must be just up ahead. Let's take a look. Be very careful. Wow! Can you feel the magic? There, that must be her, daughter of Serpents herself. The ceremony has begun. We must act quickly. What could Eugene do here? Still, we have no other chance. We must summon him. You saw what he did to Abdul. knowing that we condemn her to the same fate. We tell the destroyer to destroy the scroll. Yes, everything started with the scroll. We do not give the secret name of Todd, but we tell you how to tell how to discover. You can risk leaving the cult in possession of the scroll. It, if you don't destroy her, she may use your name and summon the outer death away, so we have destroyed it. That will still leave the scroll. Why not tell the Jinn to destroy both? It will still leave the cult, and if the professor was right, they may have observed the teaching of the scroll thousands of years already, by word of mouth. Only she may know it. Thought it. Someone else learned it if she was dead. What if they did? Stars make only right once every 2,000 years. How long? A day? A week? A year? There must be something we can do. When you think about this, back to the corridor before we spotted. Now, we knew we had no chance stopping them on our own. Which is why we planned with the genie. They're their magic against them. They have subdued the genie once before and might do so again. So we cannot expect them to destroy her, the scroll, and the cult. Maybe we can turn their own magic against them in another way. What do we know about it? Don't think we know for certain what spells are in the scroll. There were 3, weren't there? One of summoning, which must be to write every clairvoyant now. One of divination. Well, you don't need to be clairvoyant to predict what will happen next. Besides, whatever the spirit of the serpent and the golden needle were, we don't have any, which leaves only the spell of binding. It must be what they used to imprison the genie. There was something else as well. Yes, that's it. The scroll tells that Almeme came to the city of Serpents, stole the book which Todd wrote with his own hand from the serpent tree. It was one of the spells in prison. That must have been the spell of binding. Yes, the setting scroll was the enemy of the castle. Should become bound. As the words of the spell are bound in the scroll. This be the city of Serpents itself? Yes. Inhabitants were bound magical. Then I said, sometimes it's very big. You could find wisdom. You could rise up and take revenge. Yes, I heard that. Not even gonna put temple, I'm just gonna put city. We occupied it. Look at the floor. That's not some previous design. It's them. Bound there since the spell was cast. That's right. How can we release them? I could use a formula of Borellus. I know the formula of Borellus. That may work. Very well. Better use it in the temple. Or it may destroy it instead. Then, hurry. Time to lose. Quickly, we do not have much time left. Say the formula now. Ik haya haya bom. Yok sotot. Why? Yeah. Your floor is coming alive. Back. Before it reaches us. Back through the gate. Death. Sarcophagus from big sarcophagus from its beach. Close the gate. The temple is beginning to collapse. Only some kind of magic can have allowed it to survive for so long. We must go before we are trapped. So it is done. We are still alive. The shadow has passed from the world, but we'll never know. And we thought bad if we told of it. Who was she? How old was she? 2,000 years ago, the god of serpents was found dead by her own hand. But as the mad Arab wrote, "That is not that which can eternal lie." Oh well, we'll never know now. We can only wonder. I wonder what would have happened if we done things differently. And that's it. All three playthroughs. Tomorrow